All right, so this is the second video in for MMIS 6295 on how to work with Packet Tracer. So as you can see, I've installed Packet Tracer, and now I'm going to add some computers like we would do for the project. So first I'm going to click on End Devices, and I want to add 3 PCs. So there's 1 PC, 2 PC, 3 PC. And then I want to add a server. I want to add a printer and a laptop. So there's a laptop, there's a printer. Okay. And then we're going to add just a couple networking devices. So if I click on networking devices and switches, I'm just going to add a regular switch. Let's see this switch. Let's take a look at it and see what it is. This switch has 4 ports, so we can turn off the switch. Let's see if we can turn that off. So we'll turn off the switch, and we can just trade out the and put some fast Ethernet ports up in there, so we can, just in case we need some more. Is like that. Add some fast Ethernet copper ports on there. Turn that bad boy back on. We also want to configure the laptop to work. So we'll turn off the laptop, remove the network card, and add a wireless network card AC adapter. Turn the laptop back on. And let's bring that back within the video. And do the same thing for the printer. So we'll come over here, we'll turn off the printer and scroll over, grab that network card out, and grab the AC network card, put that in, turn the printer back on. Okay, now also for networking, we want to grab a wireless device, and we're just going to go with just your generic access point. All right, so now that we have all those put on, notice that my access point automatically picked up here with both of these because they have the wireless adapters on them. If you do not get one of these lines on one of them, it's most likely because your access point is out of the physical range. So if you go over to physical and we click on our building, notice all of our devices are here. And let me zoom in just a little bit so we can see that. And you'll see here is the printer and the laptop, and if you go inside this room, you'll see the access point right down there. So let's go out of this room and zoom out a little bit. Let's see if we can come across. I think it's just right over here. Yeah, so I think that works. Okay, so if I were to move that access point, so remember we talked about this last week, to move things, you just click the little move button here, click it and say, you know what, move it to Macon. So now it's actually out of our whole city. So if we click, let's zoom back out. There's our 2 buildings within the one city, and then here is our 2 different cities. That means it's in the other city. Now if I go back to logical, it's no longer going to be working because this is too far away from there. So we got to go back to the physical, go into Macon, find our access point, and move it back to gray, and then back to the Arts and Sciences building, and then into the wiring closet. All right, now if we go back to logical, give it a second, boom, pops up. All right, so let's connect all these in. So what I like to do to connect is just click the little lightning bolt, and I just say do the auto connect. So I click this and say connect this to here, connect the server, connect all the 3 of the PCs, just like that, and they're all connected in. Okay, and these little orange lights just mean that it's trying to build the MAC tables on the switch. We'll put the router in here and the other side also later, but for right now just know that this is this side was going to be our 192.168.1.1 network is on this side, and this side will be the 1.2 network. So I'm going to configure my server first. So if I were to grab a router, let's see where my routers are. Here's routers. And I just grab like the basic 1941 router. And if I just connect it, you don't have to do this part yet. We're going to do it in a couple weeks. But here on this side of the router, this is going to be the default gateway because all of the network traffic is going to come through this router. So this is our network gateway, okay, our default gateway, okay, and this point right here is going to be 192.168.1.1, okay, this point right here. So that means all of these need to get the right IP addresses so they'll work. So let's go into the server, and that's what we'll start with, okay, and we'll just configure the server. And we'll click on its actual fast Ethernet. This is its wireless adapter. Let me bring that over so we could see it. And we're going to give a server a static IP address. And this is pretty standard because we don't want the server to change if it reboots. Okay, so we'll just say 1.2. Okay, and I like giving it the 1.2 address just because it's the second one, and it can be anything, but 1.2 is perfectly fine. Then we're going to go into services. Now remember, a server provides services. So we're going to go into the services and we're going to actually enable 3 different services. First is HTTP, and you'll see that it's actually turned on. Okay, so we'll turn on HTTP and we'll go down and we'll configure the index.html file. This is just a file like a Word document sitting on the server. We can edit it, and in here, instead of Cisco Packet Tracer, this is just a little bit of HTML. We'll just type in Disney World, or actually let's do my boys love it. Let's do Bass Pro Shop. Okay, and welcome to Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's because they're the same. We love them both. All right, so get rid of all of that. Looks pretty good. Click save, and then yes, and go back to the file manager. Okay. So now we're going to go down and enable our second one, which is DHCP. DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Core Protocol. We're going to turn it on, and our first pool, or just like a pool for swimming, is going to be where do we get our IP addresses from. Okay, so we're going to click on the pool, and we're going to edit that pool. So our default gateway is that IP address, 192.168.1.1. Okay, and this DHCP server will give that default gateway to all the other computers out there. Okay, the DNS server is going to be this server. We're going to also run DNS here, so it's 1.2 since it's this server. The start IP address, we're going to start it at 3. Why 3? Because the server's taken 2 and the default gateway is taken 1. So that's why we'll do 3. And then we'll just click save. Notice that down here, 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3 are all changed. Everything in here is just that they all changed on that server pool. That's how you know you got it going, and you need to make sure you turn it on. Good. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do DNS. Okay, so we're going to turn DNS on, and we're going to call it basspro.com, and we want to give it the IP address 192.168.1.2. What's the name of our server where we're gonna put our HTTP server, our web server? It's gonna be this server. So we just say this server is 192.168.1.2. If we had another server for web, it would be that address of where this is supposed to point to. Okay, and we just know it's an A record, so we're gonna add it just like that. basspro.com, A record, and that's as simple as we're gonna make it right there. All right, so we can close the server, and that all should be going, okay? Now we need to configure these 3 PCs and the printer and the laptop. So we click on the first PC, go into config, click fast Ethernet, bring that over a little bit, and just say DHCP. And notice what it's going to do. It grabbed an IP address from the pool, okay? And let's just double check. It grabbed an IP address from the pool. And it also grabbed, I went and clicked on settings up here. It also grabbed the default gateway and the DNS server. Grabbed them both, all through DHCP. Okay, all you had to do is click on DHCP here, and that's it. All right, so let's do the next one. Click here, go to config, click fast ethernet, and click DHCP. Brought it over as .6. It's going to use any IP address from .3 all the way up to 254. All right, let's do the next one. Config and DHCP. And when we're done, we just close the little X on that one. Okay. Now let's do the laptop. Click on the laptop. Notice we didn't do anything as far as configuring on this this access point. We just clicked the laptop. The access point is pretty much just a dumb repeater. We don't have to do anything on it. Go into config, go to wireless, and DHCP is already configured. It was already checked, and it gave us 1.4, just like that. Now, if this just happens to have like a I think it's like a 169 address. It's called an IPIPA address. That just means that it doesn't know where the DHCP server is, and you just click it static, click it back to DHCP, and it's going to grab the next one. See how it grabbed at 1.4? So it'll just grab the next one. Okay, and let's do the same thing for the printer. Bring the printer over, config, wireless, DHCP is already checked. Let's just check it again and see what it does. Brings back 1.9. It was 1.3. All right. So at that point, we can do a test. Let's actually go back into our laptop, and let's go to the desktop and open up the web browser. And in the web browser, we go to basspro.com. It says, welcome to Bass Pro Shop or Cabela's Bass Pro Shop. That's how you know if your DHCP is working. Okay. That's how easy it's going to be for this project. Okay. Now, if you want, you can rename the PCs. You can rename, so you can come over here and call this, according to the project, you can call this, building 1 laptop. Okay. And, or whatever is going to be. And you can do the same thing for this one. You can say building 1 printer. And you can come up with your own naming scheme, but that right there is a way to do it. You can also come in and no, that's perfectly fine. You can also add labels. Okay, so you can click, I think one of these icons up here is like a text label. Well, they used to be much better colored. So you can actually just click on one of the icons, come down here and put some labels. So let's see if I could do that. Place a note, rectangle. Oh, there's your delete button right there. I was wondering what that was. That's a delete. They changed it. It used to be an X. I guess it's still an X, but it used to be a bigger X. So if you want to delete, say, this connection right here, you can delete that connection. So maybe this will do it. Oh, that's palette dialog. Yeah, this is it right here. It says add a note. So I can come over here and say 192.168.1.1 and grab that. Let's see if I can grab that and put it. And now it's not changing it. It just kind of labels it so you can see where it is, where we're going to put that IP address like that. And you could say, oh, this is going to be that IP address here, and then this side obviously won't have an IP address because you put IP addresses on routers. Not switches aren't. Switches are a layer 2 device, not a layer 3 device, so they don't have IP addressing. So anyway, that's how easy it is. If you have any questions, come to class on Wednesday, and we're going to cover just this stuff in detail. And then the next class period, we're going to show how these two routers can talk to each other and the configuration of that.